In this lesson, we're going to create hardware that we'll use throughout the train model. A lot of these pieces can be repurposed. We're going to make some bolts, clamps, rivets, and any other hardware that's small in scale. So with that said, let's start. Go to Layer Manager, click on the hardware layer, put a check mark there. That's now the active layer, which is what we want. We can close that out. Let's go to left viewport, roll in a little bit, zoom in, create panel. Let's go to cylinder. Let's just drag out a cylinder so we can see what's going on. Give a little depth. And we're going to make a bunch of bolts, but we're going to really make one bolt that we'll repurpose. So right now we have the radius at 1.469, the height at 1.285. It's a bit big. What we're going to do is, let's drag this back a little bit. Go to perspective. Let's bring it forward as well, toward the viewing angle. There we go. Left viewport. W to move. Let's move it back. Alright. Now I'm just going to scale that down. And we'll say the biggest this bolt should be is about 1 inch, so the radius should be 0.5. That looks good. And the height, go to perspective, looks a little deep. So let's just pull that back a little till it's proportionate. If you want to search for a reference of a nut and bolt, you can do that. I don't think it's necessary. Let's get rid of the height segments, and let's make the side segments 6. Now it's a hexagon. So we're going to convert this to an editable poly by right-clicking on cylinder, and from the menu picking editable poly. Let's go to the edge sub-object level, Control A to select all. Let's go down to chamfer. You see it's a huge value, it makes it look all distorted. Right-click that, resets that slider, and let's just left-click and slide. You see that the value is too large because of the size of the model. So what we're going to do is let's type in 0.02 and hit tab. And that looks okay. Let's make it a little bigger. Let's go 0.03. Okay. I like the look of that. We're going to say okay. Next thing we're going to do is select the front polygon. And we're going to inset that. Again, the value has to be zeroed out by right-clicking. And then we'll just slide that slider. That looks good. Right there. We'll say OK. We'll go to Polygons, GeoPoly. Click on that. It should be good as it is. And there we go. And now what I'm going to do is, let's convert this to an edge selection by control-clicking edge icon under selection. Let's do Control, Shift, and E. There we go. Toggle was active. Okay, and then we want to backspace to remove those edges. And you'll see what that did is just add some verts in here. And we're going to once again select polygon, go to polygons, and click on GeoPoly. Now we have a more circular shape, and that's going to be where the nut comes out. So what we're going to do now is extrude that. Value is too big, you can right click. Let's just manually slide that. I think that looks good. Once again, we'll come up here and control and click on edge. Let's go down and use the chamfer tool. That value is very good. Okay. F4 to see what that looks like. Let's add a smooth modifier above it. So from the modifier list, we're going to select smooth, auto smooth. Okay. It's a little segmented, but these are going to be really small, so it's not important, at least in my opinion, to make this piece heavy and a perfect, nut and bolt with threads and things like that because of the viewing distance. If you need more detail, you can do it. You can totally go in there and model it for subdivision or whatever you like to do, but I think you have to keep in mind the total scene is going to be very heavy because of the amount of these pieces we're going to have. With that said, let's also rename this to bolt-01, and we're going to use this anywhere we have a bolt just by scaling and changing location of it. So I'm going to pause the video now. We'll keep that bolt, make sure it's on the right layer, which it is, it's on hardware, and in the next video we'll make some pipe clamps that'll hold all the lines and pipes that are along the side of the train.